Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaching Show. I'm Todd Robinson, your host of the show today, along with the head coach and athletic director of the Gilmer Buckeyes, Mr. Alan Metzel. Now let's jump straight in. This last weekend in Spring Hill, a big district victory, 59-13, but some really exciting things. I don't know if you know this or not. People don't realize you've been here since the beginning from an offensive standpoint. But the Buckeyes on Friday night did something that they have only done twice before since the Jeff Traylor era, i.e. the Alan Metzel era, began here in Gilmer. And that is to score 5 consecutive touchdowns on 5 consecutive drives, each drive lasting less than 1 minute. That is offensive proficiency that is record-breaking, earth-shattering, not to mention some defensive changes that are some exciting things that really are making us look good. Just tell us about how you feel about that and the level that we kind of reached. I realize it was Spring Hill, but we've hit our stride and then some when you start thinking about things that just happened. Last time that happened, by the way, a guy named Stump Godfrey was your quarterback. And that only happened one other time before, and that was in 2004 against a team that was not very good. So what's happening different, because things are really looking up?
Well, the kids played well, and then we've got some guys who are really fast. And so, when we get a turnover, for example, and you hand the ball to Will and Will goes 93, that doesn't take long to run that drive. So, but a number of guys made plays. Jaden Edmond hit Tarek on a big pass that we'll look at here in a little bit. And, guys were, our line was blocking exceptionally well and opening up great holes, which just gave fast guys a chance to run through them. And as much as anything, I'm pleased with the efficiency, because, you can go out there on air in a practice someday and, it's like you can't get out of your own way. So to be able to do it in a game, in a district game against a playoff opponent, those kind of things, that bodes well. That is exciting, and we want to continue to build on that.
Well, speaking of Will, he had 233 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Yeah. After that, some other guys are getting a chance, and they did very well, and I'm sure we'll see those highlights. But lots of really kind of earth-shattering things, as much as Buckeye football as we've watched. If you think about that, your time of possession in the first half, that's 2 12-minute quarters. If I'm doing the math right, that's 24 minutes of football. You only have possession 5 minutes and 9 seconds. You put up half a 60, and you scored 5 straight times on 5 straight drives, and the longest of that drive was 3 plays in 49 seconds. You did it through the air, you did it on the ground. Boy, when I say everything was clicking, I mean everything was clicking. So I can't wait to watch these highlights.
It was an exciting game. And like you say, we were able to put the ball on a number of people and allow them to make plays as well. So all of that bodes well moving forward.
I could say so. Well, let's dive into highlights, because there's a bunch of them.
All right. Well, so what we've got here offensively, we're in a double set. We've really stretched our formation by putting our guys out tight out there by the numbers, trying to isolate the secondary guys. And so you can see the arrows that I've drawn up there, and what we're going to do with Tarek. So we're going to take the inside guy and try and tie up the safety, and then go ahead and let Tarek go over the top of the safety on the hash that's closest to us. And then now it's just Jaden's got to get the ball up and let Tarek go get it. When he threw it, I thought, oh no, he overthrew him. And Tarek just turned on the jets and went and got it. It was phenomenal.
That was probably the prettiest pass. Well, there have been a lot of pretty passes thrown by number 10s around here for a long time. Correct. But that one is right up there with as good as it gets.
It was really nice. And he, just threw right in rhythm. And the key for Tarek is get it up, because he's going to go run under it. So great job by Jaden and Tarek going and making the catch. Great throwing platform as well. That was pretty critical. Okay, play number 2, we've got our defense here, and you're going to get to see Brendan Webb, who just continues to
turn
splash.
Into a web.
Yeah, playing like his dad. So Spring Hill tries to make a pass, which is something they don't do a lot of, but you can see I've got him highlighted here. Watch the athleticism. First, he tips the ball, knocks it away, and then watch the catch he makes Sorry, I'm going to get it to go again. And then he makes an extremely athletic move to catch the ball. So watch this. Here he goes, tip, and then has the wherewithal to adjust and catch it over his left shoulder. I'm going to take it to a different angle so you can see him again. I'll circle him, and then it's just a tremendously athletic play. Tip, and then the catch over the shoulder. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the development of number 7 to me has been one of the top 3 stories of this entire year. You knew it's coming.
Correct.
I mean, that gene pool, are
It's
you
just a matter
freaking
of
kidding
time.
me?
Right.
And when you look at that kid 20 months ago and look at the man that you're looking at now, it is daylight and dark. But I tell you what, he keeps coming on.
He does.
Week after week after week. That Kilgore game that Tarek didn't get
That
to
was
play
the
was his
breakout.
breakout game. But now you're seeing it on both sides of the ball.
Right.
And if I'm an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, you got to find number 7 and you got to scheme for him.
No doubt, no doubt. Like you say, on both sides. So that's good for us, as you can see. So we move to our third highlight, and we've got a touchdown run by Will. Just super job by him of following his blockers, weaving in and out. And then, of course, when it comes to the open space, he's going to finish the play. But I'll take a look here from the end zone. You can watch our linemen. They do a great job of moving people out of the way. But it was pretty heavily congested. Will did a super job of finding the opening and then bursting.
It just makes it look easy. You know how much attention he's getting now on the D1 level, et cetera. And I mean, we've always known Will's Will. But the thing that I always get from a comment standpoint is they see the track speed and they say, wow, okay, what are you going to do with all that? And then you turn on the film and go, no, that's a football player who happens to be that fast.
And that is the truth. He's so tough. He works on his craft. He works on his blocking. He works on catching the ball. He works as a leader. He's really got the complete package.
Well,
really
I don't know if it's in the highlight, but he stepped up and stonewalled a blitzing linebacker that enabled in the second half for Caden to get a pass off that got us a critical first down. I even said during the broadcast, credit number 1 for that play, and he didn't even touch the ball.
Right.
And that doesn't happen very often.
Correct. He does. He really is taking ownership on all the small things in the game, which is just making him a better player and our team a better team. Okay, so here on defense, Spring Hill, they're at about the 50-yard line. They have a running back who breaks the line of scrimmage and gets out in the open. Here's Micah Easley. I've got him circled, and he does an incredible job of just running this guy down, not giving up, not taking the play off, going ahead. A lot of people would be like, oh, they're going to score now. And that tackle right there was the difference in a huge turn of events. So that he makes the tackle. They're down inside the 5-yard line now. And so then on the next play, you see Trillian Butler, who's really coming on strong at that outside linebacker position. Spring Hill runs the veer play. They make the pitch. The pitch is a little bit off, and there's Trill with the recovery.
Touchdown saving tackle.
Absolutely. That tackle turned into that fumble recovery, which is going to turn into a 93-yard touchdown by Will in 3 plays.
That's 14 points in 3 plays.
That's exactly right. So we wanted to make sure that we let, after the game, we're talking the 93-yard touchdown run is awesome. The turnover belt, that's awesome. The tackle prior to all that, that's something that we really applaud and want to make sure that those guys understand how big that was and the mindset to never quit.
Yeah, well, Mike has had that happen on several occasions.
He has, did it against Walnut Grove.
Exactly.
And the same thing took place. A touchdown takes place quickly. So here's Will, and we're just trying to get the ball outside of inside the 10 area, the coming out, and so we run a motion with Brendan, hand the ball to Will, and here he goes. And then once right there, you knew it was over, and he takes it the rest of the way.
That's just not fair.
Yeah.
As Jeff Thrash says all the time, 3 of his favorite words in the English language are Will, Henderson, and outside.
There you go. Yeah. Or in this case, inside.
In space, it's good luck.
Right.
There's not, and folks, we may look at this and say that that's Spring Hill, but quite honestly, there's nobody almost at any level in the state on any team that once he gets
to
space,
that opening,
it's done.
Yeah,
it's done.
You just have to get him there.
Yeah, that's a once in a generation talent. I don't think I've ever remember having somebody that explosive in orange and black. We will hope every year that we can find one.
That would be nice. I'll vote for it. No doubt. No doubt. Well, I'm going to switch back to the defensive side. And, this was one of the plays. There's no turnover here. It was not like it was the most critical moment in the game. But what you see here is our guys all carrying out their assignment. And so they're running the triple option, and you're going to see us take the dive, and then we're going to take the quarterback, and then we're going to tackle the pitch. So there's the dive, the quarterback, and the pitch, and you get him down for a gain of 0. That right there is an example to me of what our defense is doing now in improving in their assignments, gap integrity, reading what's going on and making the play. And so I wanted to make sure I highlighted that because that's what we're starting to see more and more.
Yeah, I just talked to Tommy outside and told him if his ears were burning, it's because I'm bragging on him. Going to that single high safety look, bringing Trillion from a corner position into a linebacker position, which he is just blossoming right in front of your eyes. We always knew how he can close and how he's got those ball skills. And I've said all year, the one difference, and I've been asked this in the community a million times, is how good a true football player, pound for pound, Amaro Arona really was.
Oh, he was tremendous.
Looking at the last 2 years in those state championship, appearance runs, is he covered up a lot of stuff because he had that ability to be able to get through, to be able to make tackles. Exactly. Right. And that's hard shoes to fill. And now you got the big from the first game adjustment and bringing Big Aaron Bell, number 0, out of that linebacker position and onto the defensive line. That's been a fit. Now bringing Trillion in at linebacker. Now being able to have guys like Caden Tennyson, who is a very, very gifted defensive player, but unfortunately he's your starting quarterback.
Right.
So sometimes it's really what's best for the team. Talk a little bit about how things are kind of starting to fall into place. And we knew from the very beginning, the first show that we did, this is a young team.
Right.
And we're now 10 games going into with scrimmages in, figuring some stuff out.
We are, and moving pieces around, and you hate to put your quarterback out into too much on the defensive side for us, as much as we put on our quarterbacks earlier in the year, and so we've waited, and now we're attempting to get him out there because we're trying to become more athletic on that side as well. Like you say, we're moving some chess pieces, moving Trill in. We're working Bell's playing down and backer some now. We're putting some different people, at safety, that sort of thing. Tarek's playing more corner. He's playing safety because we understand when you get to these rounds in the playoffs where you're playing a higher level talent, you've got to have the people that can make the play. And so we're moving in that direction at this point,
and have created the depth all along the way, so that when Jaden Edmonds comes in,
he can play.
We're not missing a beat. When you get 14 Smith that pops in there at running back, you don't miss a beat.
And that's another one. Will's playing some corner now, so we're using these pieces. And like you say, a guy like Dervay who's come on at running back, where we can allow Will to play some corner, that kind of a thing. So all of that has been a work in progress.
Right. But we're just seeing it now.
Correct.
And I think when you look out at that awe-inspiring 5 minutes and 9 seconds and 5 touchdowns, you now start to see the plan come together. And boy, is it good timing.
It's good timing. We want to keep it moving in that direction for sure. So I've got a highlight here of Jaden hitting Brendan Webb on another touchdown pass. This one is right before half. We make a double move. Brendan does on the safety. Jaden does a great job of looking it off, coming back. There's Will picking up a blitz again, and then he just drops it right in his lap.
Right in the bucket.
Just a beautiful route and throw. I'll let you see it from the end zone. You can see the great pass pro that these guys did. I mean, it gave him an excellent platform to throw in. And then here he drops it right in his lap.
So
touchdown.
Soft. As Coach Rob said when we were watching that live, he said, look, you couldn't have put it if it just walked up and handed it to him.
Right. Just dropped it right in his hands. So here we're moving from Webb catching the touchdown pass to now we've got a shovel pass to him. And we've run the shovel pass a time or two this year. We're just giving it a different look, trying to use some eye candy with some motion, that sort of thing. So we end up moving him from one side to the other, and then bringing him back this direction. So you're going to see the misdirection. You've got the lineman pulling one way, you've got Will going another way, and then we're going to toss it to Brendan here, and he gets up inside. You can see the blocks, where we've got Cano blocking down on the linebacker. You've got Jerem, and I think that's Aiden Summers on the backside, and then you've got our fullback kicking out, and then as a result, you get to walk into the end zone.
That's literally how you draw it up.
That's how you want to do it.
That was a beautiful play. And as I said to your quarterback after the game, that counts as a touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's a touchdown pass. That goes in.
Pulling Coach G.J. Kinney on you.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can see here with the different motions and movements, you can watch how it affects their defense. And so they're all moving to the right here on the screen, and we're coming back to the left. So gives you an edge, and you end up having a clean lane into the end zone.
Literally nobody touched him.
Right. And then here we're going to finalize with a couple of guys who just did a great job getting in the end zone. Here's Dervay Smith, who's just been on a roll here lately, finding the end zone. So we run a zone play, he cuts it back to the sideline, and you think he's about tackled or knocked out, and then he just finishes, second effort, gets in the end zone.
He made me prophetic on that play because just before that snap, I actually called and said, I don't think it'll take 3 plays to score, but number 14 has got a nose for the end zone, and that play happened.
There
so
you go.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for making me look smart. Appreciate it.
Made you look good. Then we've got our final highlight here is Will Gross. Will moved in from Arizona a few years ago and is just one of those hard-working, great teammate guys, never complains, always into his teammates. And so we were determined to get him in the end zone here. We got him the ball 3 times in a row. His teammates are going nuts.
I love it.
And fortunately, we were able to get him in there, and rightly so. He's just a super young man, and excited for him to get in that end zone.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And the thing that was really exciting is to see, you mentioned that, look, it's no secret when you got number 1 and number 3 on the field, those kids know who can really go. And they got to be looking at Tarek Tate every single day and say, look, thinking to yourself, how many years am I going to watch you play on television going into the future? And when those are the guys that are down there patting you on the helmet and they are more excited, they're high-fiving, secret handshakes, all the stuff that's going on.
It's pretty cool.
Jeff really made a comment about this specific group of kids, and I'll let you comment as the head coach that's been around this group forever now, their whole lives all the way up through. God, what a great bunch of kids.
They are.
I mean, Jeff Rash mentioned on it, we almost wish we had some that were meaner because our concern, knowing that we know these kids are, what a great bunch of guys that get really to this point, nothing emphasizes it more, is they really get happy with each other's success.
Right.
They block down field for each other like there's no tomorrow. They're selfless in terms of their approach, and they bring it every single day. That to me is the thing to be the most proud of with that team, is that's truly a band of brothers, and that's the thing that counts.
Well, it is what counts, and it's what will carry them through the rest of their life. Those are all life lessons, things that you were talking about, and it's what we're teaching. And it's the whole reason that it matters to go out there and practice tomorrow. It's going to be cold and wet, and you've got to have a transcendent cause beyond just playing football, because otherwise you're not going to want to go out there tomorrow morning, at early when it's dark and cold. So those are the things that I'm grateful to see that these guys are grabbing hold of, and that they're enjoying each other. And that's when you can truly enjoy it at its highest level.
Right. Well, just one more thing on that game, and then I want to get into a little bit of the bigger picture athletic program, because there's a lot of things going on, especially going in the month of November. Junior high program, volleyball program, you're the athletic director, cross country that we just had that meet. Want to let you give us that update. But talking about the Spring Hill game, Spring Hill was not a typical Spring Hill football team.
Right, they're a good team.
That is a good team that was over there.
Liberty Allo, they've beaten North Lamar, they've beaten Pittsburgh.
Probably the number 3 team in the district, and are probably going to advance in the playoffs.
Got a shot.
And I really was impressed with their running back had 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, and 110 in the first half. And we had made some defensive adjustments to stop it. You got a young sophomore quarterback who, outside those pitch issues, ran option, and we know about that, about as well as you can in terms of reads. I counted 1 misread, and they probably ran that play 27 times, left and right. That performance is my point, didn't come against a team that you would expect to run your JV out there and kind of run over.
Correct.
That was a really good football team. I would say that you're going to run into teams in the playoffs maybe that aren't that good.
Potentially.
That to me is really what makes me excited is that we didn't just kind of roll out there and roll over 59-13. And from the outside looking in, as a fan, you can maybe see that, but maybe address that a little bit in terms of the quality of opponents that you scheduled at the first 5 games. Maybe that game right there looks a lot different than 59-13 if you're not prepared for what really was a good football team.
Well, I definitely believe that. There's no way we would be at the place we're at from an improvement standpoint if we hadn't played the difficult teams that we played early in the year. There's no way. It forced us, it pushed us to the forefront, the areas that we had to fix. It exposed the things that we needed to adjust, whether it was people improving or making adjustments with players coming into a position that from a different position, those kind of things. And it's put us in a position to now, we hope, move forward and have some success against really good competition in the playoffs. So that was the whole goal. It's where we are now. We've got Pittsburgh this week. We want to continue to work to be efficient like we have been the past 2 weeks, I feel like, and make it 3 in a row and get this thing rolling as we start the playoffs.
Well, the third and most important part of the season, and I've told you this privately on a couple of occasions, honestly, I've watched a lot of Buckeye football, as you know. I don't know if we've ever been this well positioned going into the playoffs in terms of just how all these young guys and everything's just starting to click. You can kind of start tasting some specialness around this group, and it's really fun to watch knowing where they've come from and really finding their identity, and really a bunch of kids that start understanding, wow, we're really good.
Yeah.
And we're not yet even close to what our ceiling could possibly be, as scary as that is. I mean, 5 touchdowns and 5 straight drives all under a minute is enough to keep most defensive coordinators in the state of Texas from sleeping at night. I mean, it's going to be a fun ride watching it go. Well, let's talk a little bit about the entire athletic program. What's happening with volleyball? What's happening with the smaller or the younger kids? I know I came up and watched a couple of junior high games. Holy smokes, the future's bright.
We've got some good ones. I'll start cross country. Just went to regionals at Sam Houston, fared well there, really had a great season. Volleyball, our girls are playing in Lufkin on Tuesday against Madisonville, first round of the playoffs. Our junior high volleyball team has done extremely well all season long, led by Vicki Davidson. Junior high football has had a phenomenal season. You know, there were Thursday nights where, you know, when you had the B teams, the A teams, 7th, 8th, et cetera, we'd score 157 points and the other team had 8, you know, that kind of a thing on multiple occasions. So just a really fine year this year of development, of kids having success, kids getting to play. We've got, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Pittsburgh's 8th grade is undefeated at this point in district, so that'll be a good battle to finish with. They've got some really talented kids. But really pleased there. Our 9th grade has improved. They've won 3 in a row now and are starting to feel so much better about who they are as a group, and guys are starting to emerge. JV's had a very solid season, so we're pleased with everything that's going on right now in the program and look forward to having a great rest of the year in all our sports.
Well, obviously the varsity is where it counts, but there's also so many kids this year. I mean, we've even in the Spring Hill game, we see the real methodology behind that. We play 50 kids almost every game. You get 10 weeks in, and now we've got 50 players that are playing every game, which is different than just sticking somebody in a spot. We got guys like DeVray is a great example that you look at how he runs the football. And you would say, boy, on any other team in any other division in the state of Texas, that guy is your number one stud guy.
Yeah.
I'm just happened to be in line here in Gilmer. That's because the development has happened and that depth is truly there. I know you don't see that necessarily on the JV scores, but we should really understand that we've even had some freshmen up on the varsity this year, which is also a really good sign because they're that talented.
Right.
I think most every other freshman that we've had on the varsity has wound up playing at least at the next level, if not the next level, i.e. the Chris Boyd's out there. Shout out to Chris Boyd, who's now with the Texans. Go Texans. But that's the objective, right? Is the development of these guys to the varsity level.
Correct. We're wanting to get as many kids on the fields or on the courts or whatever playing as we can, developing, improving, and then finding their role as they come to a varsity experience.
Well, it's working. It's working. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the guys that are out there participating in all those programs. We wish you best of luck in the last game of their season before we kick off the third era of the varsity season, which is playoffs.
Right.
We're gonna look up and it's November. It's kind of cool. It's 55 degrees. I got the long sleeves out. It's that time.
Starting to feel it.
So for all you Buckeye fans, come on out. Senior night coming up against Pittsburgh, coming up on Friday night. Hopefully we have no rain. We will cross our fingers. We know there were some delays across the state. We were lucky to kind of be playing in Longview this last week and get that game in. No real crazy weather issues outside of that trip to Paris that we will remember the next time we go to Paris. So for myself, Todd Robinson, for the head coach and athletic director of the Buckeyes, Mr. Alan Metzel, we want to say thank you. We'll see you on senior night, last home game of the year before playoffs start. So congrats to the Buckeyes, big win over Spring Hill, looking to finish the district up strong as the number 2 seed rolling into the playoffs. We thank you for your attention and see you Friday night.